Welcome back to the Business of Aesthetics podcast. I'm your host, Don Adeesha. And for every practice owner that knows the frustration of the non-responder, the patient who gets the laser, gets the facial, and uses the cream, but still looks inflamed and tired. We usually blame the device, but today, our guest argues that we should be blaming the biology. We're joined by Sonja Landtrachtinger, the CEO of Beauty Zentrum Group. With over 2 decades of experience, Sonja has built a successful business model around neuroaesthetics. She doesn't just treat the skin, she treats the nervous system, the gut, and the microcirculation that feeds the skin. So this really isn't just about wellness, it's about business. Sonja has also developed the Skin Proof method, a system that helps her staff recommend complex treatment plans and allow her to offer something almost unheard of in the aesthetic industry, which is guaranteed results for her high-end clients. So today we are going to be discussing how to systemize the gut-skin connection, how to structure performance guarantees without breaking the bank, and why the future of our industry might be less about filling and more about healing. This episode is brought to you by Aqua Marketing, the digital growth partner behind this podcast and a trusted resource for aesthetic practices looking to dominate their local markets. With that being said, Sonja, welcome to the Business of Aesthetics podcast.
Thank you, Don. Nice to be here. I'm very, very excited.
All right, let's get into this conversation. So, Sonja, you have specialized in non-invasive aesthetics for 22 years. Many practice owners struggle to sell invisible treatments like gut health because patients really just want that quick fix of a needle. So, how do you structure your consultation to convince high-end clients that their internal ecosystem is the actual bottleneck for their external beauty?
Well, let's say it this way. I was actually confronted with two problems. Employees that didn't want to upsell or sell things to customers. And the other one was in the last about year to year and a half from ago, customers and patients and clients came in and said, I want to have long-lasting natural results, but without having filler, Botox, and all of the other lovely laser procedures so I don't look like crap once I leave. So I had two problems and I needed to find a way to fix them both. Basically, come up with a system where I can have my employees satisfied and also my clients, but give them something that hasn't been seen in the area, a money back guarantee. So we change your skin with a guarantee. And if we don't, you get a guarantee back. But there are a couple little catches. It isn't just like, okay, we're going to do a little bit of CO2 and then you go and you get your money back. No. I've made it a little, how you would say, complicated. But say about 2 years ago, customers started coming in, clients coming in. Oh, I don't want to be looking like Sylvester Stallone or Tom Cruise. We've seen the whole pillow phase and thing going on. And a couple months later, you would see them without it. So they had everything. Everybody's having it removed, and also the whole like the studies coming out where hyaluronic acid does not leave your body, which has gotten a lot of people scared. We've seen that very famous CT scan of all of the hyaluronic acid in the faces and stuff. And plus, what happens? It sucks water. So later on, it will become bigger. We don't want that. So my problem was, what am I going to offer these customers and patients and clients of ours, especially the high-end ones? Because I haven't heard of anything. It's like, your CO2 laser, your thread lift, your body, everything, the injectors. Everybody knows what to do for a quick fix. Now we're talking about long-term, long-lasting results without the quick fixers. I did a lot of research, a lot of study. What actually happens? Is it the collagen? Is it the fat that actually deteriorates? No, it's not. It's your muscle that decides to, break down because you're not activating as much as you had in your younger years. Once your muscle deteriorates, your bone mass deteriorates. Crap, how am I going to get into that? I don't know of anything that can actually activate that again. Then I found a study and a small, it was like an online video from Dr. Ilan Karavani, who had one of the biggest skin clinics in Belgium. He was like the master coryphée for Botox and hyaluronic acid way back when. And he sold it and everything because, of course, he started seeing the problems as well, that the face mutated in once getting older. It wasn't, when you get your facelift, it's going to look good for about 10 years. But after that, you're going to have to redo a whole lot of things. But we know the technology is changing every day. So who knows what will happen in 10 years. He came up with the system in neuroaesthetics, as you would call it. It's
Yeah.
basically you get your nerves reactivated.
Mm-hmm.
You're thinking, okay, well, my nerves work every day. Yes, but the older you get, the more your nerves concentrate on your most important organs, your liver, your lungs, your heart. They don't care about what your nails look like. They don't care about what your face looks like. So how can I activate that again? Which I have found. But not only that, we're missing a whole bunch of things like your gut health, your microbiome, what's going on in there. That is one of the biggest things that reflects on your skin. If that's not working well, then we can just forget about all the rest because it's basically you're fighting against two different compounds that if the one isn't good, the other one isn't going to be good. We can do whatever we want. Those pimples aren't going to disappear. Your dry skin is not going to disappear. We got to figure out what's going in there. So found a company there who does dry blood tests, or like it's like you do a couple little dots and it tells you what's going on in there. Very simple, very easy to use. It's they're from Norway, I believe, up there from one of the Nordic countries, and they also, of course, offer probiotics, all of the things that actually to get your gut back rolling. So we have
Mm-hmm.
now multiple different systems of non-invasive procedures. We are able to check out the whole gut and the whole system working and also offer you the nutrients to go along with it to up everything back up to it's like a green system. And then the third one is
Mm-hmm.
actually offering real cosmetic like products that work. So now you're thinking, how can we actually see that? We work with a new AI-based skin analysis program. And also the
Mm-hmm.
new cosmetic series is also we take the data that we get from the customer, we type it into the computer. The computer now tells us, the system tells us what exactly the customer and client needs. I don't say that anymore. My
Mm-hmm.
employees don't. They have no more problem with upselling things or selling products. So it's like a whole all-in-one based system, which I then combined to how a customer definitely within 6 months, we will be able to change your skin guaranteed. That's everything in like a little bit of a nutshell.
Okay. I would like to get to know how about the pricing of this? How do you price the invisible portion?
So that is what comes in with it's not so it can go anywhere from 800 to 2,500 over a 6 month period.
Oh,
So it's
okay.
that's where we're at the moment, but it's still a little bit in the test phase. So
Mm-hmm.
the areas around here where you do your basic aesthetics, the prices have been dumped really, really low. So how do you fight against that? But how do
Mm-hmm.
you also tell your client, hey, you're going to be needing good products. You can't just go to the local drugstore, get a test, a local drugstore, L'Oreal and what other name. It's made for the masses. You want it specifically made for you. Nobody else is getting this exact program. So I've
Mm-hmm.
taken all of the procedures that we have, everything that we do, and good old Chat GPT helps me. And we can
Yeah.
take the information. I built like a little tiny program. I'm not very good at coding and all this. So it's basically it's within Chat GPT. You put in the information from the AI skin analysis, which is the company Skinalyze. You don't even need the big
Mm-hmm.
devices. You need an app, you need a good light, and you need your phone. That's it. It'll do the analysis. And as far as I know, they're also coming up with a B2B system as well. B2B and B2C, sorry,
Oh.
B2C. Yes. So customers, your clients will also be able to do at
Mm-hmm.
home analysis. So we take that,
Okay.
we take the information that we've written down, we plop that into the system, type it in there real quick while they're laying, and getting their PDT light therapy. And then after that, it spits out everything that this client needs. And we tell them, hey, it's not us telling you what you need. We're not the one trying to convince you to buy all these products. It's your 100% skin analysis and it's AI based. People now trust AI
Mm.
more than they do a human. So that's
Yeah,
how
they
I
do.
form that.
Right. So is it part of a package or do you,
Yes.
sell it
Yeah.
like an upsell
So
add-on?
any new patient that comes in or any new client that comes in, basically, they have to go through that whole process. They have to go through the skin analysis. They have to answer all the questions with us because we want to guarantee results. If they, even if they decide,
Mm.
hey, no, I don't want to participate in the program, but I'll still take another facial, whatever. We still have the data, and that's where we then in the
Mm.
background, it's like, hey, by the way, your skin was looking like this, so probably it's deteriorated a little bit more. So how about we get you back in and we actually really talk about it? So we have the data, and then we can just go ahead and use it. We don't have like the customer and plus, the clients will start thinking about it like, okay, yeah, I've actually seen my skin. I see the wrinkles. I see the dryness. And also the microbiome test. We do that twice in a system. So if they decide, hey, I'll take the 6 months package, let's do this. Everything
Mm.
gets tested and noted. Okay, we don't do like blood pressure or anything like that, but just the microbiome and your the AI. I always say KI because that's German, KI. The AI skin analysis, those two together, it's amazing what the results are. They will see it. We can actually guarantee that if you take the nutrients and you do the process, whichever one it is, because everybody's different. We can't say there's a standard package for
Mm.
everyone. The one might have the thermal mesotics procedure, the other one might get the polynucleotides because the skin around the eyes.
Mm.
It's so individual. It's a lot of work for us, but it is so individual because everybody is so different. There is not just one package for everyone.
Right on. And let's talk about how you managed to come up with this method for selling and getting your staff to sell confidently at that. And these are complex treatment plans, and you want to address it without being pushy. So you've
Exactly.
developed the skin proof method, right?
Yeah.
How does this system operationalize the diagnostic process? So your team has a clear, data-driven roadmap to follow.
Exactly. So the main problem was for the employee side, they didn't want to sell, excuse my language, they don't want to sell shit that nobody needs. So nobody likes that. You don't want to. I mean, if you look at the economic system at the moment, it's everybody is looking where to save their euro or their dollar. They don't want to be spending 300-400 euros on products that don't work or procedures that don't work, and employees know that, but they don't want to sell stuff, especially them not knowing 100 because we change things rapidly in here. I get a new procedure. Okay, we'll put that one in here, but by the time everybody knows how to do it, the next new procedure comes in. So how can I bring everything together so everybody's on the same standard, clients, customers, and employees, without being too much? Just plop it all into the AI system. So the employees now see it as, they're not telling the client what they need. The system is telling it. They feel better because they're not pushing the client into a direction that might not be necessary or where they think it might not be necessary. The AI program has developed the whole package to make the results 100% optimal, or say about 90% optimal to actually change. So the client is like, hey, okay, you're not wanting to sell me stuff that I don't need. And the employee is like, hey, I am not selling things that I might have to. It's an AI program that's doing it. So both sides are trusting something that I developed so that they don't have to have the bad feelings.
Okay. And how long does it take to train a new esthetician on this method before they are allowed to issue a treatment plan?
Um, Probably, I would say, well, they have to know how each procedure works, of course. So, but the good thing is a beginner can do
Mm.
the new, say, how do I say that in English? The new, the registration, say it this way. They can do the new registration because there's
Mm.
nothing much there. The AI program tells you what's wrong with the skin. They note everything down. They answer a whole bunch of questions. They type everything in the computer and you have everything come out. So they don't need to know how each individual procedure works. It then gets taken to a skin expert or a dermatologist, whoever we have here at the moment, who will then do the procedures. So basically,
Mm.
you don't really need to learn much. You can divide it up into, if somebody has questions for the cosmetic products, we have a person that can be responsible for that or who's really good at it. Or if you need, I don't know, microneedling with polynucleotides or exosomes, then we have someone who's really good at that and who loves doing that. And like employees, not everybody likes doing every procedure. So you have your different experts on the
Absolutely.
different areas. And when they come in to do the procedure, it just gets put into that person who is the expert for that. So basically, you can start out with someone who has not really much of an idea of aesthetics and you have your expert aesthetician. So you can mix it and basically use every employee that you have.
Okay, you just need to figure out where they're going to play their part at.
Exactly. Who does what? Who can do what the best? And that's what you just need a good, how would I say, receptionist or even just to set up a little AI program probably can spread it around there. But if you know your employees, you know who does what the best and you just, let the customer also know or the client know, hey, we've got our expert for the polynucleotides. You'll be with so and so, and then after that, your next procedure will be mesotics. And so I don't know, Barbara is the best one for that. So they feel confident
Mhm.
because not one person is doing everything, but you have your little experts in there for the different procedures. That was also another little clue where some of them got a little bit skeptical because she knows how to do everything. No, of course not. You have your people who like to do certain things. Of course, they should know how to do everything, but you've got your heart in other procedures than some of other ones do.
Right. And like, what happens when the data contradicts the client's wishes? Perhaps, if
Hmm.
the skin proof data says no laser, does your staff has the authority to veto the client's credit card?
We are honest. That is, I
Okay.
think I would rather have a client, customer, patient walk out and tell everybody they did not do the procedure that I wanted rather than, yeah, they did it and it turned out like crap. So if
Mm.
we see literally it is not going to help you and it is against what we believe in, we don't do it. It's the thing. If I want 2 milliliters of hyaluronic acid in my lips, sorry, we don't do that. It's because you're running around with something that everybody else can see that's going to look horrible. So we're honest and we just don't do it.
Got it. Right. So before we continue, a quick message from our sponsor, Echo Marketing. Echo Marketing are offering our listeners a complimentary 60-minute digital strategy session. This is a one-on-one consultation with a senior strategist to help you map your 12-month high-value patient acquisition roadmap. You will get a personal diagnosis of your online presence and patient funnel, uncover untapped growth levers across SEO and social, and walk away with a clear, actionable plan tailored just for your practice. You can check the availability and reserve your spot in under 2 minutes at businessofesthetics.org/MSM. Right. So, Sonia, in medical aesthetics, you are usually taught never to use the word guarantee because biology is unpredictable. Yet your business model for high-end clients is built around results guaranteed. How do you really structure that financial terms of that guarantee to protect the business if a patient's biology simply doesn't cooperate?
So it's a little bit tricky, but legally it works very well. So it's so intertwined with everything that we do. We see if you've been taking your, I don't know, nutrients or depending on your package. Let's say okay, you want to get your gut health up and running because you have pimples and you have, I don't know, a little bit, you're swollen and you're just stressed from the day. So probably the program will spit out, okay, so you need to do you have to do the microbiome test, your gut health test, you have to do that. That is part of it, which you have to do two of it within 6 months. And we basically also can see if you've been taking your cosmetic products because we know how long they last within 6 months. So we
Hmm.
know like the facial cream, it'll be like 1 month and they should be coming back for the next round. But since they're coming every month, one to twice a month, we actually can talk with them and make sure that everything has been going on routine. If they take their hyaluronic acid shots that we have, regularly, then we know, okay, within 2.5 months, they should be coming for refill because we know how many packets are in there. We're not dumb. So it's like it's all 100% controlled. And we know if you take it exactly according to date and time and how we tell you to do it and come in for your procedures, it will work. And the gut test, we haven't had one person yet, knock on wood, where we haven't got it into
Okay.
the green area. So, and we're not saying that we will make your face tight and you won't have any wrinkles. We're saying that we will change your skin, but how we change it,
Mhm.
that's still up to us. We will see it through the AI skin analysis. It will change. Even just taking the hyaluronic acid shots that we have, the product from Norway, just doing that for 2 months, 3 months, it's changed. We can make the wrinkles less dry, less deep, just with those. It's proven. We've done it without any procedures, without anything, just taking that and making sure that the gut health is on top. We can get results down with that. So with just the smallest things, we can change your
Mm.
skin. But putting it into a big package where you have the micro needling with I don't know, like biorepion acid, one procedure, your skin is going to change after that. Like saying it hardcore now, burning the skin with a CO2, with mesotix, with Tixel, whatever, you're going to get immediate results. You're going to have results no matter what. If they're
Yeah.
as much as that you can see them with the naked eye is a different question, but the AI skin analysis will pick up every single minute little change. So that's how we
Okay.
can guarantee it.
And have you ever had a payout?
No, no,
Okay.
we've had not yet. So I don't want to jinx
Okay.
anything, but
Cool.
we had one dispute. The person,
Mm.
but she came back because she's noticed that she can't get the results that she was having anywhere else, and there wasn't a guaranteed. She didn't want to do the second microbiome test. I said it's part. You signed the contract. It's in there. You have to do it.
Mm.
So we have to see the results,
Okay.
and that wasn't. And also the AI. We didn't have to say anything. It's like she's not. It was week, it was month three into four. So it was like she was getting a little
Mm.
impatient. He's like, I'm not seeing any results. He's like, your results are right here. It's like, this is you before, this is you after. This is just 3 months. It's like, where
Mm.
can you get these results without like making yourself look like poo because you've had just a carbon or a CO2 laser done or a major facelift? Where are you going to get those results with the minimal invasive procedures that we have done? And we're looking from inside to outside. So we're making you healthier, in apostrophes, and getting your skin to boost. And she had a glow and everything, but she was like, everybody else was seeing the results, but she wasn't. So it was
Mm.
we
Perhaps
could
it
have,
was.
yeah, we could have danced on our head, and I don't know, whatever. It would have been, nothing would have changed her mind, but she came back. So pretty
That's a
lucky.
win. Absolutely. I mean, you're dealing with the psychology of people, right? The way they
Yes,
perceive themselves and the result.
yes, yes, yes,
Pretty
yes.
subjective at times. But yeah, the very interesting way to go about doing it, really.
It helps
So
both
my next
sides.
question.
It gives confidence for clients and it gives confidence for the employees. So both are, I try to keep the scale even.
Okay, gotcha. Because the employees really do want to guarantee those results.
Exactly.
Right. So Sonia, we're seeing a rise in patients with, as you mentioned, the cortisol phase, inflammation driven by chronic stress. You focus heavily on neuroaesthetics. From a clinical standpoint, if a patient is stuck in flight or fight mode, does that physically block the efficacy of standard aesthetic treatments like lasers or facials or anything else in between?
Cortisol phase, pillow phase, there are very you have to it's hard just to put them all into one category. I've noticed that. You've got your little teenager youngsters where you say, oh god, they've got cortisol phase, stress in school, they've got the acne, they've got all of the technological things around them. It's like, I think, plus the stress of fitting in, and to be honest, I don't want to be growing up in this time zone as it is at the moment. I like the 90s. They were a lot better. But there is a rise in unhealthiness, I would say also. If back to the microbiome and back to all of that I think it's a big main cause in a lot of people with the result of the cortisol phase. If that thing is not working and ticking correctly, then you're going to have to forget the rest, because it's like I said before, you're going to be fighting against two big things with it, which it's just not going to work. And that's also the reason why we did the skin proof method, is you got to fight the demons on the inside before you can fight the things on the outside. So yeah, if that's not, but the neuroaesthetic part is also the nice side effect. It brings you down. It's an automatic. It's from like the lighting in the rooms to the music in the rooms to the temperature in the rooms. It's all part of the psychological, um, even the smell that we have. It's all part of, like, all senses get, so they just basically shut off, and you're just put into the moment to calm down,
Mm.
just to calm down.
Mm.
And that helps a lot. And they understand that.
And they truly feel that as well, huh?
Yeah. Yes, yes, yes. It can get stressy in here at times, and also the color pink that we have at this at this practice. But like the rooms are like little, I would call them like little pods, especially like some of them are even soundproof, so you don't hear what's going on. You basically just go into a world, and you're just like, all your sensory, it just like, it makes you calm down. And if that's not given, where somebody's constantly knocking on the door, or employees are running in asking you questions, I've just said no, stop. Like the sign on the outside goes from red to green. Stop out. The customer needs to calm down. If we can't get that done, it doesn't matter what we're going to do. The results aren't going to come. So it's inside, outside, and it starts basically in the practice itself to get the customer to calm as I always say in my vulgar English, to calm the F down. Done. Yeah, yeah.
And
I'm known for that.
I mean, okay, so take us through this. Like, if an inflammation blocks laser efficacy, do you have a mandatory cooling off period where you treat the nervous system for, I don't know, is it weeks, days before you ever touch the face with the device? Does it get that drastic?
We haven't had that per se happen where it's gotten to that. I mean, of course, if you have a teenage, as mostly the teenagers are with the nice cortisol face at the moment. But the big pimples, the redness, well, actually, the cortisol face actually can result into redness and also the acne. If we have the feeling, that's where we go after our gut feeling, where we don't really rely on AI or any of those programs. If we see that patient or customer or client, it's not working up there really, but there's like the major stress where she actually really needs help, we will suggest
Oh.
them to go and talk to a really high professional before they come back to us,
Mm.
because it's not going, we're going to, it doesn't matter what we do, we're not going to be able to help her if it's not somehow a little balanced. If we notice that someone's completely out of whack, we don't even start. Like, some of the requests when they come in here, I want you to burn my face, I want to see results.
Whoa.
There's something not right there, so we tell them, why don't you, go to the dermatologist over there, have a quick talk with him, and then come back to us, then we'll help you. So we go after our gut feeling on a lot of things.
Okay. Okay. So it's not necessarily AI running the show, is it?
No, it's also, it's like employees will come and be like, I don't have a good feeling with her. Sometimes they'll even get calls when I'm out in one of my other practices, like, Sonja, I got a problem here. My gut feeling, it's just like she's a little, I think she needs help. I don't think I'll be able to help her, and I think she needs to have someone talk. So they'll call me, and it's like, is it okay if I do that? It's like, yes, if your gut feeling tells you that, then tell the patient nicely that, we won't be able to help her today, but in the future, after she's had a talk with someone, absolutely no problem. It has happened last year. I
Sonia,
think we had two or three times.
oh, really?
Yeah, we don't, if we see a need that our procedures will not help in any way possible at the status that she is at the moment or he is,
Yeah.
then we
Yeah.
will just say sorry, not today. Today is
Yeah.
not the day.
Yeah. Because perhaps what you're alluding to right there is it's not necessarily a physical problem, but perhaps it's a psychological or emotional based
And even if you have
issue.
that, it's just not, it's I always say
It
don't
shows
don't
up, huh?
yeah, don't do it. It's like, but the girls are really good. My employees are really good with noticing where problems could turn up, say it that way, because those are the clients that are going to cause you big problems down the road. We want to avoid those.
Do you think Do you think like, since y'all are practicing really, neuroaesthetics as well as you're pretty well in tune with, you know, gut health axis as well, do you think that bridges the gap between some sort of decision making and, keeps you more aware of your surrounding and people around you? Do you think that really has an effect there?
I think yes, because there are not very many practices or estheticians around that actually do that. But it was a
Yeah.
growing factor of, people they're getting younger. I mean, we have the classic, we have the Botox, we have the hyaluronic acid, we still have all of that running, no problem.
Right.
You just have the clientele that's just going to be like, I'm not interested in waiting, I want it now. So and then we've noticed that they're getting younger, 16, 17, even 15-year-olds wanting, the Botox, where you don't even see a need for it. But it's from the
Mhm.
outside. You've got your Instagram, you've got your TikTok, you've got these unreal pictures and videos
Mhm.
of people, this is perfectionism. This is what it is. So it's in good old English, it's messing people up. Even I myself was social media addicted for quite some, I really have to take myself off of it, seeing these unreal things where I myself then start to think like, oh God, the skin's starting to hang a little bit here on my neck. And what am I going to do? And
Mhm.
I was looking at having facelifts done, because you
Right.
constantly get pounded with is like, what is beauty now? And that's where you have to be careful. It's like, what is
Mhm.
too much? What am I telling my clients, like even for myself, it's like I
Mhm.
don't want to look unnatural. I don't want, it's like my employees, it's like don't put on too much makeup, don't look unrealistic. Let the clients and
Mhm.
customers feel natural. It's like, and it's
Right.
that the whole trend is going back. There's this two big lips and two big butts and all that stuff. It's the trend is slowly, very slowly, it's starting to go back. Thank God.
Right. Right, right. Perhaps, we're although we're looking at social media and thinking that's real, a lot of times it'll be a combination of those filters and then enhanced images, right?
Yeah.
So what you're seeing is unrealistic from the get-go, and you're
Yes.
comparing yourself to that, and you want to get those results, and how are you going to achieve that?
I mean, they literally come in and they show you pictures like, hey, I want to look like that. And we'll just be like, sorry, no can do. That's a filter. That's fake. I mean, it started even with nails. It's like
Hmm.
crystal nails. It's like, that is an AI generated picture. There's no way in heck we are going to get that done for you. So forget it. It's like, stay realistic. And it has paid off, just saying, it's not going to work. This is fake. Your skin has pores. Your lips have little lines on them. It's like, what you're seeing there, it's fake. It's not real. Like, if you want to look like that, put a filter over your picture, then you look like that. It's being
Easy.
brutal. It's brutally honest. That's what's, I think, gotten us. Of course, you lose customers that way. You've got to, if you be too honest, they don't want to hear that. But better to
So
say, okay,
how do you
don't come
balance
back.
that? How are you balancing that? Like say when a patient says, I have the money, just give me the Botox. I don't want supplements. Are you turning them away or are you treating them knowing the results will be subpar?
But if it's a person that says, I have money, I've always had Botox, and I want to stick with Botox, and then she'll stick with Botox. That's it's like, you're not
Mm.
going to be able to change her or him, or whatever. But
Yeah.
you can always, while you're doing this, like, oh yeah, by the way, it's like, if you want to help the rest of the, we can hear the little bit of sagginess in here. Do you know what neuroaesthetics is? You can talk to the patient while you're doing the procedure. And some will actually, which we have seen, will actually come and try because curious. You know how we always say curiosity killed the cat. I love it. He's like, you make them curious about things. You know, you put up before and after pictures. You know, put them in the rooms and like, okay, what's that? What did she do there? Oh, that's our 6 month skin proof method that we have. Oh, okay. How do I get that? You know, make them curious. Make them want to know what you're doing. Give them the basics. You know, if they've had it for a while, they'll stick to it. You know, it's like they do it every 3 to 4 months, but you know, make them curious. Tell them about things. You know, they don't know about most of the things that you have in your practice. You know, inform them,
Mm.
let them know. It's not what most things they don't even know that they need them yet because they only know the simple things like Botox, hyaluronic acid. They only know this. They don't know about RIU. They don't know about neuroaesthetics. Make them curious. Let them know about it, but without them knowing that they get to know about it.
Right, right. Uh, be very tactical about it, huh?
There you go. Always think of a way to inform the client, even though he or she doesn't know that they're being informed or that you're actually trying to sell something. Car salesmen are really good at doing that. You know, insurance salesmen, they're really good at doing that. You know, they're really good at selling. It's like one of the biggest industries still, insurance. You know, so,
Yeah.
you know, learn from them.
Learn from them indeed. Now your brand is built on honest aesthetics, right?
Hmm.
So telling patients what works versus what is just a trend, as we just discussed. So do you believe, Sonia, that the high-end consumer is finally ready to pay a premium for health over instant correction?
Oh, I
Or
like to use good old Brian Johnson as my biggest example. What does he
okay,
give out a year? Like 2.3 million to be young biologically again. So it's like, you know, you
yeah,
might not have the 2.3 million, but you know, 2,500 is going to get you pretty far, you know. Um, it's extreme what he does, you know, but you know, he's got the time. He definitely has the money, but he's the best example. It's like, look, you can reverse. There's also a couple of other ones you can do it without all the high-end technology and stuff, but it's like it works. It's like you just have to stay at it. And you know, we use that information there. The internet is a lovely thing. Chat GPT is a lovely, lovely thing if you know how to use it. So you inform your client and say, hey, look, it is possible without having all of the major surgeries and facelifts and things like that. You will look naturally younger, but you have to give it time. Nobody has time anymore. And it is possible, you know, so it is possible to reverse it, but
hmm,
you can't just do the outside. You got to get to the inside. And Brian Johnson there, sorry, he is he is the best example. Some of the things I don't agree with, I don't, but you
yeah,
know, heck, if it works for him, why not? There might be a different little smaller solution in for other practices. But yeah, use the examples there. There's a couple of other ones. I can't think of the names at the moment, but yeah, I follow them on Instagram and TikTok or just Instagram to see, you know, what's the newest thing. Red light therapy is actually good for your eyes. Green light therapy, fantastic for migraines. It seems to help there some way. Plus, you know,
mhm,
the millions of bits of data that, you know, AI gets fed with every day. There's who knows what they'll come up with tomorrow. And, you know, maybe there's just going to be a pill pretty soon that'll just make you healthy in a snap. We don't know. But for
right.
now, it's a little bit of a process, but it is possible.
Okay. So, Sonia, as we wrap up this podcast, I want you to let our listeners know what is one key takeaway that you would recommend to them if they could only take away one from this whole conversation we had.
One thing for me, I I had an idea. Everybody laughed at me. You can't do that, is what was told for me. Um, I would say if you have an idea, just go for it, do it, try it out. You know, and if your customers, if you have a few clients that say no, the next ones will say yes. So just have the guts. There we go. Your gut. Just have the guts to try it and to do it. You know, it just go for it. Is that you basically have nothing to lose anyway. So just go for it. Just try it. More than a no and more than a couple, you know, clients being unhappy might be the problem, but you might, you know, you're trying something that you love or that you know that will work. Go after your gut feeling.
And with that being said, Thank you so much, Sonia, for your very refreshing perspective. And before we sign off, don't miss the chance to sit down with the strategist from Echo Marketing for free. If you want a personal diagnosis of your patient funnel, that 60-minute session is a game changer. The link to book is businessofesthetics.org/MSM. You can also check the show notes of this episode for the link. With that being said, I'm Don Adeesha, and this has been the Business of Aesthetics podcast. Thanks for listening in, and here's to honest beauty.